ancient legacy of the world in governance and law is foundational to the political and legal systems we recognize today. Ancient civilizations developed sophisticated frameworks to manage cities, states, and empires, establishing principles of justice, leadership, and social order that continue to influence contemporary governance. Here are the key pillars of this legacy. 1. The codification of laws. Code of Hammurabi, Babylon, c. 1754 BC. One of the earliest and most comprehensive written legal codes, inscribed on a stele. It laid out laws governing everything from family matters to trade and property. The code emphasized lex talionis, an eye for an eye, and the principle of retributive justice, influencing the development of modern legal systems. The 12 Tables, Rome, c. 450 BC. A foundational legal text of the Roman Republic. The 12 Tables codified Roman law and laid the groundwork for later Roman legal principles. The tables established rights for Roman citizens and provided a clear framework for dealing with civil, property, and criminal cases. 2. The role of kings and rulers in governance, divine kingship, and Mesopotamia. In Egypt, the pharaoh was considered both a political leader and a divine figure, responsible for maintaining cosmic order, justice, and truth. In Mesopotamia, kings such as Hammurabi were believed to rule with the authority granted by the gods, positioning the king as a central figure in both governance and law enforcement. Absolute monarchy, Persia. The Persian Empire's governance system, under kings like Darius I and Xerxes I, was centralized, with local satraps, governors, managing regional affairs, but reporting to the emperor, who held supreme authority. 3. Decentralized governance models. City, states, Mesopotamia, Greece. Ancient Sumer, and later other Mesopotamian city-states, were early examples of decentralized governance. Each state had its own laws, rulers, and religious institutions, but often shared cultural and linguistic ties. In ancient Greece, the city-state, or polis, was the primary political unit, with Athens pioneering the concept of democracy. Citizens participated directly in decision-making, and laws were discussed and enacted through assemblies. Greek democracy, Athens, c. 5th century BC. Athens introduced a form of direct democracy, where citizens, excluding women, slaves, and foreigners, participated in decision-making. Athenian democracy influenced modern democratic ideas, particularly the notion of citizenship and public participation in governance. 4. Legal philosophy and justice systems. Philosophy of justice, Greece and Rome. Greek philosophers like Plato and Aristotle explored concepts of justice, equality, and the ideal state. Plato's Republics and Aristotle's Politics deeply influenced the concept of a just society and fair governance. Roman legal philosophy, particularly in the writings of Cicero and Seneca, emphasized natural law and the importance of reason in legal frameworks. Roman law, especially the Corpus Juris Civilis, Justinian's Code, laid the foundation for much of modern civil law. Concepts like contract law, property rights, and torts originated in Roman jurisprudence. The Roman legal system also developed ideas of due process, trial by jury, and appeals, which have directly influenced modern legal systems around the world. 5. Taxation and public administration. Tax systems, Egypt and Rome. In Egypt, the state relied on taxes in kind, grain, livestock, to fund the administration and the pharaoh's military campaigns. Rome introduced a complex taxation system to fund the military and public works. The census was an essential tool in assessing wealth and assigning tax duties. Bureaucracy, Persia, China. The Persian Empire introduced the use of satrapias, provinces, each governed by a satrap who collected taxes and enforced laws locally while reporting to the central authority. Imperial China developed an efficient bureaucracy with civil servants elected through merit-based exams, establishing a model that influenced later governance in both East Asia and beyond. 6. International diplomacy and treaties. The Treaty of Kadesh, Egypt and Hittites, c. 1259 BC. One of the earliest known international peace treaties. It was signed by Ramses II of Egypt and Hattusili III of the Hittite Empire. The treaty promoted mutual defense and trade, setting a precedent for future diplomacy and international agreements. The Peace of Westphalia, 1648 c. Although not ancient, the Peace of Westphalia ended the 30 Years' War and established principles of sovereignty and international law that traced their roots to earlier treaties in antiquity, including those of the ancient Near East. 7. Cultural and religious influence on governance. Code of Manu, India, c. 2nd century BC. The Manusmriti, or Code of Manu, is one of the oldest texts that describes the duties of individuals and rulers, including rules for governance, justice, and social hierarchy. It outlines the role of kings in protecting the moral and social order, and it influenced subsequent legal and societal structures in India. The Torah and Jewish law, Israel. The Torah codified legal principles that guided both religious and civil life. For ancient Jews, the concept of justices in the Torah emphasized fairness, care for the vulnerable, and a respect for God's law. Rabbinic law later expanded these principles, influencing legal traditions in Jewish communities. 8. The legacy of written law. Administrative documents, Mesopotamia and Egypt. Early written records, such as cuneiform, tablets, and papyrus scrolls, were used for administrative purposes, including tax collection, trade agreements, and legal contracts. Public decrees and inscriptions, Rome and Persia. Roman emperors and Persian kings often issued public decrees, inscribed on stone or metal, to communicate laws, military victories, and governance decisions to the broader population. 9. The legacy of democracy and citizenship. Athenian democracy. Greece. The concept of democracy in Athens laid the groundwork for the development of representative governments and the idea that all citizens should have a role in decision-making. Roman citizenship. Roman citizenship, with its associated rights and responsibilities, served as a model for later concepts of civil rights and duties in Western legal traditions. 10. Influence on modern governance and law. The legal and governance systems of ancient civilizations, particularly in Rome, Greece, Persia, and Egypt, have deeply influenced modern Western and Eastern legal frameworks. Concepts such as trial by jury, rights of citizens, legal representation, and state bureaucracies are direct legacies of ancient practices. The transition from a monarchical to democratic systems, the codification of law, and the development of bureaucracies and tax systems from ancient times are pillars upon which modern governance rests. The ancient world's governance and law systems were deeply intertwined with culture, religion, and politics. These legacies have shaped our understanding of justice, leadership, and order, leaving a lasting imprint on contemporary society.